You take the blue pill, the story ends. You'll wake up in the year 1999 and play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. You take the red pill, and we'll free your mind from the prison you call reality, teach you kung fu, and declare war on our machine overlords. But then, after a truly bitchin' car chase, Colonel Sanders will explain that our rebellion was actually part of his plan to keep the Matrix stable. But then, your arch-nemesis Smith will take over the Matrix. You will have to battle him to the death in order to bring the war to a satisfying end. But then, the machines will bring you and your girlfriend back from the dead in order to harness the power of your love. To maintain the romantic tension, they'll give you a wingman named Jude.
MILF.
He'll convince you that the Matrix is actually just a video game that you created. You'll believe your name is Thomas Anderson, the man the character of Neo is based on. But no one will know it's you because you'll look old and bald. The only way for you to escape is to create a sentient artificial intelligence on your Dell laptop, and then wait for someone to break in and steal it. You will call this artificial intelligence Morpheus, but it won't be me. He'll be like a younger, sexier version of me. Much of this will be explained by your therapist, Dr. Doogie Howser, as he uses bullet time to...
Sequels. At their best, they're an elevation of everything you know and love about a franchise. But at their worst, simply saying the plot out loud can make you break down laughing.
Luke, watch out for that vicious bounty hunter Boba Fett. Did I ever tell you I fought his dad? Then the robot used poisonous bugs after lasering a hole through the window. It could have just lasered her too after that.
Wow, it really does put it in perspective, doesn't it?
But it already bought the bugs.
He did buy the bugs.
What makes a good movie sequel makes a bad movie sequel?
For me, something that wasn't made for money, something that was made for story.
Oh, tier list. Tier list.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings, it's one movie to me.
Can we put all three of them in S tier? Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I kind of think all of Hobbit deserves C to D tier.
And that's where it turns into the money grab side, where you're trying to stretch one story into essentially three.
Do the movies get better when the number of movies in the franchise go up?
No. Statistically, they get worse the more there are.
Yeah.
So looking at this Luke, did I ever tell you about Jango Fett short? What if we did our own?
I always wanted to do that. Have the characters actually talk about what happens in the sequels as if like that was planned all along.
You want the good part of the movie to be self-aware about the bad part of the movie.
Yeah, like when Bilbo's writing the Hobbit book, I want someone to tell him to split it into 3 books so he'll make more money. And he goes, oh, that's a great idea.
So we'll definitely use 11 Labs for all of our voice generation.
You know, Uncle Bilbo, more people would read your book if you made it longer.
But I feel like we need like the characters saying what they're actually saying.
It'd be nice to take it to the next level.
How are we gonna do the mouths moving?
2 movies that we've talked about in React have done this. The Champion, where they had to redub the film in different languages for Europe, and then there's The Fall, where there's 2 women trapped on top of a radio tower, swearing up a storm.
You're stealing my car! What? No, you mother.
They only had distribution if they could make it PG-13.
Freaking tower in the middle of freaking nowhere.
This tech does exist, it is being used, but it's behind a fat paywall. How accessible is it to a studio like ours? Like just for a couple of dudes trying to make a joke about movies.
I really like the idea of just being able to do something in-house with like scrappy tools. Like that's what I'm all about. There actually is something that might be able to do this. Not at this level of flawless, but for the level of memes, I think we got something. This is Comfyui, a crazy open source, free to use, community developed tool. And this is called a workflow, and it can kind of look crazy, but the thing is there's whole websites dedicated to people sharing these workflows. And you can download them and run what they've built. There's workflows for putting slow motion into video. There's workflows for up-resing things. There's workflows for everything. I found a guy that made a workflow that lets us do performance retargeting. The thing is, this can be tricky and a little time consuming to set up. Do you think you could spend the rest of the day getting this working and we can do some test shots?
Victory. This is how we're going to be using Comfyui. This is essentially just a big digital Rube Goldberg machine, but instead of marbles, you put in 2 videos and out comes 1 video. So marble number 1 is what we're calling our source video. It's just a shot from the movie The Hobbit.
Unsociable, me.
And then right below is where I'm going to stick marble number 2, me saying the line that I want for the edit.
You know, Uncle Bilbo, more people would read your book if you made it longer.
We've been calling this our driving video. Cue prompt, and the marbles are going to start rolling. Each one's going to tumble through a cropping node, resizing node. These nodes here will actually extract the faces. We have a face detected every frame. Finally, both of our marbles are gonna meet here at the live portrait process, where they get combined into one super marble. Frodo saying the line that I was saying.
You know, Uncle Bilbo, more people would read your book if you made it longer.
Looking pretty good to me, even on this big TV. So now I just have to do this process for every shot in the edit, and then we can show the guys. All the shots are done, and you know, some of them look pretty good and they're totally passable, and some of them look pretty janky. But you know what? This tech is only gonna get better. It's open source. People are adding to it every day. Just in the 1 week we've been working with it, there's been like 4 updates to the node. So people are grinding on this stuff. Think about all the applications you could use this for. I mean, translation, for instance, right? There's a whole world of people out there that can't speak the language we speak, right? They can't watch our videos. What if we could translate them all at like 3 clicks of a mouse? So deja un comentario si te gustaría ver un VFX artist react en español. But for now, it's good enough for memes and maybe for sponsor segments.
Hey, how's it going? It's Real Wren here. And we're gonna take a quick break from movie sequels and face retargeting so I can tell you about today's sponsor, Squarespace. I mean, who doesn't love a good website? Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform for creatives, entrepreneurs, and just about anybody to stand out and succeed online. The first thing you'll notice about Squarespace is their awesome templates. They have templates for any kind of website, any kind of business, whatever you need, Squarespace is gonna have a great place for you to start from. And using their next generation website editor called Fluid Engine, you can customize and design every single detail of your website, all with easy to use drag and drop controls. With Squarespace's online stores and flexible payments functions, you can run your business at a click of a button. Whether you're selling physical goods, services, or digital content, Squarespace has the tools you need to start selling online. And as always, Squarespace offers detailed analytics about website traffic and new SEO tools that'll let you grow your website the way you want. So if this sounds like something that you are interested in and you want to make a website, head on over to squarespace.com/corridorcrew and you'll get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. All right, let's get back to some sequels.
Cool. I think we got it. Hey, Wren. Do you give consent for me to generate a fake you?
I guess. Yeah, sure, go for it.
It's gonna be weird.
What if I just have you stare at the screen like this? I guess it'll be for something.
It began long ago. I was minding my own business when an old man in a pointy hat asked me to embark on an epic quest. We rode roller coasters, we went to water parks, there was boogie boarding. For a while there, I passed out, and when I woke up, everybody was dead. And that, dear Frodo, is the story of my grand adventure.
You know, Uncle Bilbo, if you split your book into 2 parts, you'd make twice as much money.
Twice as much? Part 2. Here is a list of the memorable folk I encountered on my travels. There was Alfred, the assistant to the master of Laketown. Radagast, the frequently shat upon. Toriel, the studio mandate. Alfred, the assistant to the master of Laketown. We spent a lot of time with him. Also, there were 12 dwarves, but I forget their names. We had the Short King and the Short King. For a while, we had a sexy bear man. At some point, a guy named Legolas showed up who could fly or something. If you ever go on your own adventure, Frodo, make sure you bring a guy like Legolas.
Hear me out, Uncle. 3 parts.
I've always wanted a pool. Part 3. Did I mention Gandalf has a thing for older women?
He passed out, and when he woke up, everyone was dead.
I think you guys properly conveyed how much random bullshit was in these movies.
Did the live portrait stuff take away from the meme? Was it distracting?
I mean, it was definitely noticeable. I was definitely kind of staring at their lips going,
I was along for the ride. The narrative was working for me. The jokes were landing.
the jokes are funny.
Are you guys trying to say that The Hobbit shouldn't have been split into 3 movies?
It's a crazy thought.
There's so many things from the movies that are not in the book.
Alfred's not in the books, dude?
He's not in it at all.
What about freaking Evangeline Lilly, dude?
You know what? To me, that's a success. What do you think we should do next here?
Terminator.
Schindler's List.
Schindler's List 2. Schindler's Pissed.
Terminator!
But Terminator has like the best sequel ever.
The only Terminator that's in the S tier is Terminator 2.
Is 2 Jelly Boy through the bars?
2 is Jelly Boy through the bars.
How long has it been since you watched Terminator 2?
It's been quite a while.
You need to watch it again.
It's been quite a while.
It is like one of the best films of all time.
Yeah, it's the one with the Jelly Boy.
Salvation has Christian Bale. It has a wonderful rant from behind the scenes. But those are the only things I know about it. I think it's a solid C. Terminator's a weird ride, like a roller coaster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Terminator, you start at the top and then woo, okay. Sometimes a movie sequel doesn't need to be bad to ruin the original. Terminator is a time travel story, and all time travel stories raise questions about free will, aka consent.
The world's gonna unless we have sex right now.
Do we have time to get to a motel, or do we need to do it right here?
Does Sarah Connor need to sleep with Kyle Reese to give birth to John Connor? In Terminator 2, they stopped the rise of the machines, thus making the events of Terminator 1 unnecessary.
We stopped Judgment Day.
Then Terminator 3 makes the events of Terminator 2 unnecessary.
Judgment Day is inevitable.
Then in Terminator 4, we figure out that John Connor actually likes to verbally abuse his crew. Every subsequent sequel invalidates the events of the previous movie. Until by dark fate, John Connor isn't even the savior of humanity anymore. Someone else is. I think it's her. So as it turns out, no. Sarah Connor doesn't have to sleep with Kyle Reese. And all that stuff about saving humanity, it was just kind of a bad pickup line. Time travel. I want to re-edit this scene to show that. We have the technology, kind of. How hard could it be? It's actually pretty hard. So it's been several hours trying to get these plates of Kyle Reese explaining the plot of Terminator to actually work, and it's proving kind of difficult. And there's 3 reasons why. Reason 1, lighting, right? Frodo, he's very well lit, super soft, super bright, whereas Kyle Reese over here, he's half in shadow. Reason 2 is the face angle. Kyle Reese is constantly moving his head around, looking all around. I mean, he is driving, so he's being safe. Good job, Kyle. Reason 3, Kyle Reese needs to shut his damn mouth. Live Portrait is really good at taking a closed mouth and opening it, but it's not so good at taking a moving mouth and then closing it. It's taking Kyle Reese's mouth shapes and then my mouth shapes, and it's kind of adding them together of both of them.
Yeah, it's his mouth and your mouth.
Yeah, dude, there's so much going on in these shots, I just can't get a good result.
Hey, I had a cold this past weekend and I lost my voice, and now I sound like this. But hey, maybe we could use 11 lamps to make me sound normal.
Hey, what's up? This is Nico. I'm normal now. I'm all better. Is that easy? It just...
That's creepy. Let's not.
Here's what we need to do. There's this thing called a lip zero threshold, and that should close the lips. But in addition to that,
We need to set the scene in a different spot where we know we can make it work. In the parking garage.
Stop trying to make a shot work that's not gonna work. Let's just choose better shots and put more effort into the performances.
Not just lip sync. We need to do a performance with breathing, expression, dialogue from us.
And instead of just like trying to override that performance where he like jerks the parking brake, right? Why don't we just pause my performance to make room for it? And that way both the source and driving are actually working together rather than totally fighting against each other. We have a cutting edge head stabilization platforming rig. Embrace the jank. I'm about to tape a cup to a wall.
What is going on? What are you guys doing?
We're doing high-tech workflows, Wren.
With a cup on the wall?
Yeah, with a cup on the wall.
Well, maybe we want to play beer pong in between.
There's no way to win beer pong that way.
Not with that attitude.
Eliminate my hair as a factor.
Nick, imagine you're Kyle Reese, you've just finished a car chase, and you're trying to convince this woman to sleep with you.
Okay, yeah.
Look, I didn't write Terminator, okay? James Cameron wrote it.
I was sent here to do this by your son.
Perfect.
I don't see it. Processing.
It's processing. Don't worry.
Oh, I don't see it.
It's processing.
Come on! Yeah. Oh no! Dude, some of the glitches you get from this
They're
stuff,
really funny.
They're so good. Scrungus is the demon that lives inside Comfyui, and if you tweak your settings and go just a bit too far, he shows his ugly face.
Nick, here it comes. Here it comes.
Wow. Ooh, yeah, dude. All right. Nice. Just like the Hobbit, we're gonna upscale, deflicker, do all that jazz, and I think this is gonna look really good. Can't wait to see it.
How could that man just get up after you did?
Not a man. Terminator. Cyberdyne Systems Model 101.
A machine?
It was sent here from a future where machines have taken over the world. It wants to kill you so that your son doesn't grow up to lead the rebellion against the machines.
But I don't have a son.
No, but you will. I was sent back in time to impregnate you so that you can give birth to our savior. Look, I know this plan sounds crazy, but I was ordered to do this by your son.
Wow, my son sounds like a huge asshole.
Yeah, he will be.
Why the fuck are you trying to wipe out humanity, you pricks? I'm gonna send my dad back in time to kick your fucking ass.
This is a full puppet, by the way. This is Nick doing both the face and the voice.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Hey, that's great.
We had to specifically time Nick's performance for when Kyle Reese like shifts gears. He goes, and he like really shuts his mouth, and it's weird.
I saw that. That performance came through.
The biggest thing I've learned about sequels watching this, when you make a character in a good first film, talk about what happens in the future films, if you start laughing, that's a really bad sign. And I think it's a sign of the state of sequels. There's a bunch of amazing sequels out there too, but movies are so much better when they come from inspiration first, where it's like, I have a good idea. What if we turned it into a movie? And you know, if you're a filmmaker out there who's made a banging original movie and you don't really have plans for a second one, you know, maybe just stop at one.
I think it is okay to stop at one.
Just stop at one. Not every movie needs a franchise. Sometimes it's okay to just stop at one.
There's exceptions, I can see that this is just a rule of thumb.
The fourth Mad Max is the best. I agree, but generally just stop at one. I'm sick of remakes and soft reboots, sick of prequels, streaming shows. It's a must to keep track of when the stars are way too old. Movies would be better if we all agreed to just stop at one. Audiences are starving for original features. If someone were to make one and release it to theaters, we will call